Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this conference. Before I give my introductory speech, I'd like to invite Dean Iman Nuwayhid, Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, to give his remarks. So please, can you give your remarks, Dean Nuwayhid? He will be talking in Spanish, I think.
I'm actually speechless. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Iman Nuwayhid. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences. And on behalf of the faculty at the FHS, the Faculty of Health Sciences, and on behalf of AUB, I'd like to welcome all of you to this conference. This is a very interesting conference that actually reflects the intersection between different disciplines and perspectives to try to understand rural well-being. I don't think I'd like to again start by thanking again Professor Rima Habib for her hard work in organizing this conference. And I want to thank the IDRC, the International Development Research Center, for supporting and funding this conference. We live at a time that we're all aware of. This region is not in good shape, to say the least. Whether you look at the political situation and the vast majority of the countries in the Arab world are either engaged in active wars, civil conflicts, they're undergoing or suffering from occupation, and definitely political instability, and to top it all, failure of state in many of these countries. So the political framework of the region is quite hazy. You look at the environmental situation, and again, the Arab world is the sort of the poorest region in water resources. It's the region that is the most food insecure globally. It's the region with the high proportion of its displaced population, definitely due to war and conflicts, but also due to environmental deterioration also, and failure of economic policies. We're talking about a region where the climate change is catching up with us, although some are still non-believers, perhaps a smaller number now, non-believers in climate change, and assume that our region may not be contributing to climate change. But I think looking at the fact that we're a region with limited resources, that we're at the verge of collapse on more than one issue, then the climate change will be tipping the balance actually against us. And add to this the fact that at the current fertility rates in some of the Arab countries and in the region as a whole, it's expected that the current population of 350 million people in the Arab region might double within 40 to 50 years. So if you just lay these sort of place these different layers on top of each other, we'd realize that we're really living in challenging times, and the future might look bleak. But on the other hand, this is a region that is rich in its heritage and history. This is a region that is really endowed with some natural resources. This is a region that's endowed with actually also human resources and talented human resources that may not be tapped into, especially in political environments that do not actually reach out to people and citizens and engage them in political decisions and in choices. So what can we do as academic institutions and as researchers, scholars, academics, and all of that? And I guess one of the things that this conference could actually show, that one way out for us is to break out of our silos the geographical or disciplinary silos and try to reach out to other disciplines. Try to understand some of these challenges that I've referred to from a sort of a multi-perspective, using a multi-perspective approach. Trying to join efforts and hands and trying to also find solutions or attempt at recommending solutions to some of the problems that we're facing. None of us can afford actually or has the capacity of understanding and responding to the challenges that I've listed, and I'm sure that you have even a longer list of such challenges. We cannot afford working alone. And so this conference is an example of actually people working across the region. Rima will be expanding more on this, but this is a conference that's building actually on an existing network, Thimar, a network of committed people, researchers, practitioners who care about what's happening in the region. They work in different parts of the region and trying together to address some of these issues. And so this conference has actually situated itself, positioned itself within this network, and we'll hear more about that. The conference again is asking, and I've actually posed this question to Rima when she shared with me the agenda. I said, when I look at the title and the topics, I don't see the word health jumping at me. And we're a faculty of health sciences, we're a school of public health. Said it looks a little bit strange that when you look at this, where is health? Health is not actually named there. There is well-being and health here and there, but it's not your traditional public health or health conference. This is not a conference where we talk about exposures and outcomes, about risk factors. This is a conference where health actually is embedded within all the determinants of our lives, be it environmental, social, political, name it, at the local, regional, and at the global level. So again, I'd like to thank you all for being with us. Speakers, keynote speakers, researchers, and participants from within AUB and outside AUB. And I'm sure this is going to be a lively and engaged conference. And I wish you all luck. And again, thank you for being here, and enjoy it.
Thank you, Dean Nuwayhid, for your warm welcome. And good afternoon again, everybody. This is a strange mic. Okay. I'm happy to see so many familiar faces in the audience today, so welcome again. My name is Rima Habib. I'm a professor and chair of Department of Environmental Health at the Faculty of Health Sciences here at AUB. Further, I am one of the organizers of this conference and member of the Thimar network, dedicated to the production of interdisciplinary and socially just research on rural life and well-being in the Arab world. I have to stick to my notes, otherwise I'll talk for hours. This way it's only 9 minutes. The road leading me to this meeting today has been long and filled with learning opportunities. Importantly, engaging in interdisciplinary research through this collaboration has forced me to escape my own comfort zone in public health, learning to recognize and to think through alternative perspectives and critiques of the work that I engage in. Questions such as, why is the worst food insecurity experienced by farmers, and why are the highest poverty rates occurring in rural areas in the Arab world, have to be the concern of environmental health scholars like myself. Why do the highest rates of occupational health problems and unregistered mortality occur in rural areas have to be the concern of occupational health scholars like myself? Why is the Arab world the most dependent region on food imports globally has to be the concern of public health scholars like myself. To explain and ever rectify such trends, one needs to understand why power structures are so against rural well-being and health as part of a complex system of ecology and government. This process of questioning my methodology has made me a more thoughtful scholar and improved the rigor and diversity of my own research. For this growing opportunity, I'm thankful to everyone in this room. Before I go further into my remarks on the conference, I would like to thank some of the people and institutions that have made this meeting possible. Dr. Iman Nuwayhid, who is in the audience and just spoke, and Associate Dean Rima Habib, who could not be with us here today. Both entertained my atypical approach to public health research. So I wasn't doing any more standardized mortality ratios and p-values. I would like to thank also key people who have made major contributions in the organization of this conference. Professor Marta Mandi and Karim Eid Sabbagh. Karim has been in communication with many of you for months. Cynthia Garios for the layout of the poster and program. And last but not least, Hiba Mansour. Do I spot Hiba? She was around a while ago, yes. Our department administrative assistant who has tirelessly immersed herself in the nitty-gritty details of and logistics of the conference. Without their support and efforts, this meeting would have never happened. Thank you to the International Development Research Center, IDRC Canada, for their generous grants and technical support. Dr. Andres Sanchez, who is here with us, came from Canada. Conversations stemming from his thoughtful feedback throughout the grant writing progress have grown the network from a seed of an idea to a blossoming of possibility. Thank you, Andres, and thank you for coming today. Also, I would like to thank the Leverhulme Trust for their contribution in support of this conference. Further, I thank the senior scholars who have been deeply committed to this network and to the mentorship of junior scholars as recognition of their importance in building upon, critiquing, and bettering our work. I also want all of us to recognize junior scholars, or I should say, as Karim keeps on reminding me, early career researchers who are in attendance today. Their dedication to social justice research in service of rural communities will certainly help secure a better future for many. Both our junior and senior scholars will be presenting in this conference, showcasing the healthy mix of experience, expertise, and possibility that we collectively share. Perhaps a reflection of the times, several of our scholars were unable to make it to Beirut today. 2 scholars from Yemen were prevented from leaving their country due to the Sana'a airport closure by the Arab coalition. Another scholar from Tunisia was unable to present his work to us because his government was slow to issue a passport. Conflict and bureaucratic ineptitude, 2 unfortunate themes of our research and lives in Arab countries. I would like to thank dearly Professor Emerita Marta Mandi, who is here today, of course. For those of you who don't know her, and all of you know her, Professor Mandi is a brilliant scholar who has documented the lives and livelihoods of rural communities in Yemen for decades. Her research has made visible the stories of so many people who will never appear on a nightly newscast or investigative expose. Her work has inspired me to continue my research supporting the well-being of marginalized communities in Lebanon and beyond. And our collaboration to establish this network is reflective of a deep bond that we share. She is my mentor and my friend. On a related note, another mentor of mine, Professor Emerita Donna Mergler, once told me, if you want to have a successful research network, you need to identify a group of your friends that share interests with you. And that is what I did with the Thimar network. I trace back the origins of Thimar to a meeting in Jordan in 2012, January 2012. There, I participated in a conference focused on interdisciplinary research of rural communities. There, I met my research community, my group of friends that I would go on to work with in establishing the Thimar network. This meeting in Jordan was instrumental in bringing together interdisciplinary scholars in the region, joining previous collectives of researchers engaging in rural studies with researchers such as myself. For this, I thank my friend and colleague, Professor Rami Zrey, for introducing me to this research, to this group of researchers. Rami was behind my invitation to the conference in Jordan, where I presented on the well-being of Lebanese farmers. For this invitation, I'm indebted to him forever. Thank you, Rami. I should also note the value of the many discussions that I have had with my friend and colleague, Omar al-Diwashi, which have given me a new perspective on public health research and allowed me to see Michel Foucault through his eyes. Thank you, Omar, again for your inspiration. Our network has placed interdisciplinary knowledge production at the center of its mission. We believe that in order to carry out this work, we must work across disciplinary boundaries, utilizing different forms of scholarly and media production and connecting communities, advocacy groups, and powerful institutions. Importantly, Thimar brings resources to support neglected but necessary research. Second, it joins scholars working across disciplines to think, connect, and address the global and local processes affecting the well-being of rural populations. And third, it fosters mentorship relationships, further formalizing and supporting bonds between junior and senior scholars across the region. Networks cannot be formed overnight, especially given the lack of visibility, resources, and institutional commitment to this research on rural communities. However, we have done very well for ourselves in the last several years, and I'm hopeful for what it is to come, or for what is to come from our passionate community. This is how I like to call it, a passionate community. On another personal note, right now, as I speak, my first cousin is getting married in Mykonos. My whole family is there celebrating on a Grecian island, on the beach. I'm not bitter, I'm not bitter, I'm not bitter. Really, I'm happy to be here with you, to witness the culmination of years of hard work, to see all of the people that have made the network a possibility is inspiring to me. Mykonos can wait. Welcome to this conference. Welcome to AUB and the Faculty of Health Sciences. My hope is that we all leave here inspired and motivated to continue our efforts to improve our learning and living communities with our research, relationships, and activism. Welcome all. Thank you.